Y'all, it's been 2.5 weeks since I was down in Austin testing Tesla's Robotaxi. Before that, just a few days before, the first driverless Teslas in Austin were spotted driving around with the safety passengers, as we know. Just a few days later, a bunch of us went out to Austin to test the Robotaxi service. I'm still getting questions about this. People are asking, can I still take the Robotaxi? Is it still functional? Yes, this is a launched live service. Now, not anyone can download the app. You have to be invited. There is a website that Tesla has. I will link that down below. You can sign up to be notified if you get invited to use the Robotaxi. But if you're invited, once you have the app, it's a service that's available every day between 6 a.m. and midnight. Anyone with the app can use it during those times, whenever they want, for the rest of time. That's just what it is. But here's what this video is about. The service is already expanding. 2.5 weeks. And this weekend, the service is going to be expanding. So 3 weeks. We get 3 weeks from initial launch to expansion. And this is exactly what I was saying I want to see. I wanted to see within a month, I wanted to see some type of significant update. Now, I was a little too wimpy to tell you exactly what update I was hoping for. I was saying something along the lines of a geofence expansion, getting rid of the safety drivers, adding more Tesla robotaxis, or inviting more people to the service so that more random people, not like, influencery or whatever you want to call them, people using it, would be invited. And we've seen 2 of those. Tesla is inviting people continually up until now. People just keep getting invites. Now, some people are asking on X and then they post a couple hours later and they go, whoa, I actually got an invite. So maybe that's why. At the same time, we're also seeing reports of random people, even people that don't own Teslas, being invited to use the service that live in the local area. Now, it's hard to keep track of this because if they're not posting on social media, we're not going to hear about it, right? And if they are posting on social media, then it's very easy to say, oh, it's because they post on social media. So it's kind of hard to keep track of the people that are not posting all the time. But it does seem that people all over the place are getting invited continually to use this service. Now, I was pretty excited about that. I was glad Tesla is inviting random people. They're inviting more people. So that means they're pretty confident that the system, is open to wide scrutiny. The last video I posted, or a couple videos ago that I posted, had the accident all the news outlets are talking about, which whatever, I'm sure you can call it that if you want. But Tesla is still open to sharing this with people, letting them use it so they have enough data that the service is safe enough. Now, the big thing, what I really wanted to see is geofence expansion. Now, we don't know exactly how much more of Austin is going to be opened up, but Elon said Robotaxi is expanding to a larger service area in Austin this weekend. 3 weeks, that's 3 weeks, and we're getting a bigger geofence. I was hoping within a month. I was thinking I was being a little too excited or optimistic, but it's happening. Guys, it's happening. It's happening. Getting the first ones on the road was a big deal. Yes, we'll talk about the safety drivers in a second. They still have those. Expanding it is kind of the next big deal. And we need to keep track of this over the next several months to see how much expansion is happening. Of course, it's very natural. You would think Austin will get bigger and bigger. The geofence currently on the Robotaxi is about half that of Waymo's geofence in Austin, the same area. So you would hope pretty quickly Tesla would be able to get pretty close to that geofence, if not bigger. And this is why we really have to keep track of what's going on over the next several months, because Tesla's whole goal, their whole idea with their approach to Robotaxi and their approach to driverless vehicles is, look, we don't need the HD maps, we don't need the fancy stuff, we need a good brain, and we need surround vision of the car and some sounds, and then we can do it. So Tesla's been behind, and they're still behind Waymo as of now. But if Tesla is correct in the way that they want to do this, the way that a lot of people think Tesla's going to do this and the way it's going to work, they should be able to rapidly expand their service to lots of different areas. Now, I'm still very skeptical about weather, so I don't think in my area in Michigan, at least in the winter, maybe there'll be a seasonal aspect, but like winter, we're not going to have that for a while. I still am being skeptical about that. I think at this point, we're getting to somewhere where Tesla's going to start outpacing my expectations. I've always been optimistic and skeptical at the same time, but this is starting to go faster than I thought, right? Even though it's been promised for a long time, it's difficult, right? But as of today, as of the past, let's say 6 months or so, right now, this is going slightly faster than I thought. So we want to hope that we see Tesla continue this pace, continue to expand like this. Now, we should get a lot more of Austin, and then we should start seeing other areas, which Elon talked about that as well. He also said waiting on regulatory approval, but probably in a month or two when Tesla owners of Silicon Valley asked when the Bay Area. And so Bay Area in a couple of months, if we see in a couple of months Tesla is plopping their Robotaxi in multiple areas in the United States and slowly expanding those geofences. It's like kind of proof that this is what Tesla wanted. It's working. It's happening. Now, we'll continue to move the goalposts as humans do. We're very good at that. So that will definitely keep happening. And people, once they're in the Bay Area, to be like, oh, but it's only this little part of Bay Area. And once the geofence expands in Austin, it's like, oh, it's still a geofence. Forget all of it. On the long scale timeline, none of that is going to matter. On top of that, right after the Austin, Texas Robotaxi launch was happening, we had the first driverless delivery to a customer. So the Tesla went from the factory in Austin, Texas, all the way over to the customer with nobody in the car. It took the highway. Top speed was like 72 miles per hour. It did all of that. I don't want to harp on it too much because it's kind of older news now and people know it, but no safety driver, nobody in the car, just was covered in cameras and they documented it and everything, which is very cool. Tesla posted the full unedited, unsped up video for anyone to watch on both, on X for sure. I think the sped up version was only on YouTube, but you can see the thing driving from the factory to the customer, and that's it. Now, that thing was loaded with Robotaxi software, according to Tesla, and they changed it. They downgraded it to FSD 13.2.9 upon delivery. So the customer doesn't have any special software, but that vehicle did have the special Robotaxi software, and now it's the customers. So that's, again, further proof that these are vehicles. They're not modified. These are like coming from the factory, getting delivered to customers. I know there was some weirdness. I had posted some pictures of like the weird thing in the back window, and then there's a metal bar on the bottom. I don't know what any of that stuff is. It's very small if they are modifications. But then, of course, people want to say, oh, it's not straight from the factory. They made modifications, and maybe they did, but it's nothing huge that would prevent other cars, customer cars, from having the same software. And that was kind of proven now with this customer delivery with nobody in the vehicle, which is actually slightly more impressive than the Robotaxi service itself with those vehicles that have the sticker on the side and then had the other couple pieces of hardware. On top of that, the Robotaxi app got its first update already. It had adjust the pickup location so you can move the pin to a couple of different areas. Now, this isn't exactly what I was asking for. I was hoping, when I look at the map, and especially in an area I'm not familiar with, I want to be able to just touch the map and then it's going to pick me up there. And I realize the exact pickup spot, for all Uber or Waymo or any of these can be slightly different, but I don't know the area, so I don't know what to search. As of now, the Robotaxi app, you actually have to like search a business name or an address, and then it will pick you up there. I want to be able to just zoom in on the map and just touch something and be like, yeah, take me right here or pick me up right here. You can't do that now, but you can adjust your pick up and drop off locations, which is nice to see. And then also it displays, the app was updated to display the remaining wait time at pickup in the app and the live activity. And then they changed the design and fixed some bugs on it. So the Robotaxi app itself is also getting improvements. The app, when I used it, was already really, really good. There are, like I mentioned, some things that I want to see. I would also love to see business hours in the app. Your Tesla vehicle, when you route somewhere, navigate somewhere, it already tells you like, hey, this place might be closed when you get there. The Robotaxi app needs that too. Again, if I'm using this, I'm probably in a place I'm not familiar with. And so a couple of times it actually dropped me off at places that were closed. And one of the times I actually had no idea. I thought the place was open and it was closed and the Robotaxi just was gone. So I just had to wait outside for the next one. But that would be a huge improvement to the app. But it's just so nice to see all of these different parts of this service all being upgraded and getting better already. All right, cool. We're happy. It looks like service is expanding. We'll see this weekend if it actually does, but I think it's going to. What do we want to see going forward though? Because it's, we always want more. So continued expansion. Like I said, over the next several months, we need to see this keep happening. Even if it's little bits at a time, it means Tesla is getting the data back, showing them that the service is safe enough and that they can continue to expand and add more area that people can actually use the service. We want more invites. People are getting plenty of invites. So it doesn't seem like invites to the service are really that rare anymore. So people are getting them. Sign up at that website like I talked about earlier, and hopefully you can get invited if you're in the area or you want to travel there. But this one's hard to gauge because, again, if people, as Tesla invites normal people, then we won't know. Like, they're not going to post about it. And even if they post about it, maybe nobody sees it because they don't have a bunch of followers or something. We do, though, want to see the app just pop up in the App Store or Google Play or anything like that so that anyone can download it. I mean, that's huge. As of now, obviously, Tesla doesn't have enough Robotaxis to even do that, even if they wanted to. And that's the next thing. We need more Robotaxis. This has been being tracked by Omar and Sawyer, and I think they got up to 11. There's 11 Robotaxis. They're doing it off the license plate. Yeah, that's not quite enough. So, this is the part I think should be pretty easy, right? All you got to do, again, according to Tesla, is load the software on there and you got another Robotaxi. So I don't think this is going to be too much of a limiting factor, because if they want more robotaxis, they just like load the software on some vehicles and throw them out on the road. If the service is working well and it's safe and all of that, then there's nothing preventing them from just getting more robotaxis. So we want to see more, though. We really want to see new license plates, new colors, whatever, driving around Austin. And then, of course, the big one, we got to remove the safety driver. And I think in this initial expansion phase, that's going to be one of the last things we see, because especially if they add new areas. Now, people have been seeing the Model Ys with the LiDAR on top that do the kind of the pre-mapping, or the not pre-mapping, but like the ground truth or whatever you want to call it, driving around different parts of Austin. So we've kind of expected this expansion a little bit from seeing that, which I was seeing those even when I was down there 2 weeks ago. As they move to these new areas, the safety driver is kind of like the last bastion of like hope. If something does go wrong, you have someone right there who, well, safety passenger, I think I said safety driver, but safety passenger. They're right there. They can hit a button on the screen. They can hit their little door button if that's what it does and stop the car. And I think it's smart. I think Tesla should keep that there. But if we don't see that person removed, it means, again, it goes back to like, what data does Tesla have? They know exactly everything that's happening with these robotaxis. They know how many close calls there have been. They know how many, misses there have been, all of these different things. And so they can use that actual data that they have to make an informed decision and say, oh, well, the robotaxi is doing great. We don't need safety drivers. There hasn't been, any issue in a million miles, right? So let's get rid of these guys. So I think the big thing, expansion is great. We definitely want to see that. I think that's like the second biggest thing. But the number one biggest thing for the short to medium term is safety driver gone, or safety passenger, sorry. The safety passenger gone. Once that person's gone, the data is looking so good. And once that person's gone, I think you really would see a rapid expansion. But the other way I think it could go is the safety passenger is just going to be there as this expands. And then overnight, just like that, they remove them. Or the other way it may go is you have the initial geofence, safety passenger is there, you expand the geofence, no safety passenger in this initial one, but then the robotaxi couldn't cross. So I guess that would make sense. But maybe like all of Austin, safety drivers are gone. Whereas other parts of the country, safety drivers are still there. So you may see it in that way. But in my opinion, I think they're just going to have safety drivers as it expands and then just kind of get rid of them all at once. But you can't expand the service that much with safety drivers, because this is another person you're paying. This is another, job you're taking up. Because right now they must be at like 1-to-1 or 2-to-1 with robotaxis, right? Because you have the person in the car, so that's 1-to-1. And then you're going to have someone remotely who's monitoring it as well. So you have more than like a driver at this point. Again, initial stages, it'll definitely get better, but that's like the big thing we want to see. So anyway, leave your comments down below. I will talk to you down in the comments, and you will see me in the next video.